Hello there. We're back with the fourth set review video. This time we've got Cunning. As always, Hector is here with me. Let's get into it. First up, we've got Barris Offie.
Yeah, you get to play an event from your hand for one less using the Force. And then on her flip side, pretty much the same. But you can do it as an action then, so you can, I guess, potentially do it more than once. I don't know. Playing an event for one less seems kind of cool, but I don't know how impactful it's going to be.
Free Force throw. She must be broken, right? Yeah, 6 to play Force 7. Like, the stats don't excite me, and it's pretty late in the game.
Yeah.
I really like high impact out of my 6 to play leaders, so that already is a turnoff. Like, I don't know how often that the one cost less matters. Like, you have to really build your curve around it.
Mm-hmm.
The best use case I've seen so far is to play Sheehan Flurry for free and then play Vader on curve with Ambush, the new Legends of Force Vader. It's like okay, but then you're playing blue-yellow villain with units in your deck, which traditionally has struggled. So, yeah, I don't know. She's just meh. I don't think she'll see very much play at a high level.
Yeah.
Speaking of not seeing much play at a high level, here's Grand Inquisitor.
You can attack with a friendly. Again, you got to use Force. Attack with a friendly unit. The defender gets -2. So if you're planning on attacking units, fine. I guess you're going to survive. 3/5. At least he's shielded, and he gets that on attack. But for 3/5, I mean, he can easily be. Besides the shield, he can easily be taken care of. A takedown will get rid of him. Yeah, I don't see this being like a seriously competitive deck either.
3/5 shielded is a really interesting stat line. Like, other than dying to takedown, he's pretty sticky, which is nice.
Yeah. And the shield is nice.
Outside of that, like, did you want half a disarm on your leader? Like, are we putting disarm in any decks? No. So, like,
Right.
I'm not going to spend my leader spot on getting half a disarm for the Force. Like, it's not even free. So, yeah he's just not going to see any play. He'll probably be pretty strong and limited, where unit trading matters a lot more and having a sticky Force leader matters a lot more. I think that's the primary format will shine, but I don't think we'll see him. We've got Cal Kestis.
You can make them exhaust something. Make your opponent exhaust the unit they control. They get to choose which one. It's an action, and you got to use the Force, of course. Cheap leader, though, comes out on 4. 3/4, the stats aren't fantastic. On attack, opponent chooses a ready unit. So basically the same ability on the flip side. If you get an attack off with him or something before he dies, fine. And then the one thing I can say is at least both sides of the card, it's kind of the same ability, so you can keep doing the same ability whether he's out or not. Maybe if there's some sort of really tempo-y exhaust your opponent deck, maybe this could see some play.
I think this is just tough because his ability is kind of like split two ways. You want your opponent to have a few units in play, so they have to exhaust something impactful. But at the same time, he deploys early and wants to like be aggressive because he's a 4 to play leader. I just don't think these abilities mesh really well.
No.
Being a 4 to play 3/4, like, he dies to everything under the sun. Karis unit, Tyrannus ambush, open fire, force lightning, like, etc., etc. There's so much that just kills him on deploy, which sucks. Like, he doesn't even have hidden like second sister. I would have loved to see hidden on this leader. Like, I just don't know how often the ability is like actually impactful enough. You have to have the Force and you have to have initiative for it to even matter. Otherwise, they just attack with the dude they were going to exhaust with it anyway. So yeah, I just think he's like kind of unfortunately pretty bad. I don't think he'll see much play at a high level. People will definitely play him because he's a fan favorite, but it's unfortunate for them. Then we've got Qui-Gon Jinn.
Another one using the force, and you can bounce one of your own units and then play something cheaper, non-villainy, of course. And then you can play it for free. So I guess you could throw in some out of aspect cards that you want to try to squeeze in for cheaper. I don't like bouncing my own stuff to play something smaller. Maybe there's some neat combo somebody comes up with, but uh, those types of tricky decks, they're not very good in the long run, and they're easy to figure out.
Hmm. I think this leader has like one of the highest ceilings of all leaders in the game. But I think when you actually sit down and play games with them, when your opponent's interacting with you and stopping these like cute combo-y like pop-off turns, like if they play a well-timed piece of removal, or if they're just killing all your units and you can't get the force, like then he's not doing anything. He's just gonna fizzle out. So I think like I definitely think some high-level players could make something work with him, but I don't know if it's worth it when like he can be easily disrupted if you know what he's trying to do. Um,
Yeah, it might be nice for that surprise factor. If you hadn't seen that combo yet, you might lose a few games to it, and then
mhm.
after that, it's like, oh yeah, I see what's coming now.
And cheating and out of aspect stuff is like a pretty unique ability that we don't really have on many other cards. So there's some potential there. Being able to play Bodhi in like single yellow decks by bouncing an Ahsoka unit and just like spamming discard is one of the better builds I've seen of him. Um,
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. He definitely like I said, he has a really high ceiling, but his floor is also pretty low. So he's like you got to be a really good player. You got to learn the lines. You got to figure out what's the most best thing you got to do with them, and you got to know what shuts you down and try to minimize that. I think that's going to be really difficult to figure out. Um, but maybe someone will, and there will be a broken build with him. I don't quite see it yet.
Yeah.
And we've got the Tomb of something, E word.
Hey, Ilram.
Again, the
Uh,
name's the set, man.
I mean, another way to gain the force, but you're uh, sacrificing 3 hit points compared to the 28 hit point basis. You have to exhaust a unit. Um, if you've got a cheapy unit out there, maybe that's cool. You can get the force by exhausting it. I'd still rather attack with the unit.
Mhm.
I mean, you're exhausting it anyway. Might as well do something with it.
Yeah, I was gonna joke about I should have just put like just play the 25 HP basis like on the slide like if you want the force just play the 25 HP force basis and put force units in your deck. Like a lot of these like the red base wants you to attack anyway, the yellow base wants the unit to be exhausted anyway. Like both of these you can get by just attacking with a force unit.
Yeah.
Like Virgins and the green base I'm forgetting the name of um, both are at least interesting. They offer like unique ways to gain the force. Both of these
Mm-hmm.
are just like strictly worse than playing a 25
Then 28.
HP force. So yeah, play those bases. I don't think this is going to see like any play. It's another card that you open in your previous box and you're like, lame. This ate a rare
Yeah.
slot, and I'm not playing it at all. Now we've got Adept of Anger.
um, I mean, it's you can exhaust a unit. It's going to cost you the force. Action. You got to exhaust this unit. I guess it's kind of like cheaper cost than the first Grogu card, but less sticky. Um, I don't see this happening a whole lot. You bring it out, and it's probably just going to die to their turn one play anyway,
Yeah.
and not kill it.
Yeah, the stats are just unfortunate. I would have liked to see 1/4 here. We've gotten one cost 1/4s before. Like
Yeah.
this, use the force to exhaust a unit. It's like whatever. The Grogu comparison is great because Grogu just has no condition and has
Yeah,
more HP and can just
yeah,
exhaust
the
anything.
lot stickier.
Like so, yeah, he's just not competing in the same space as Grogu.
Mm-hmm.
It's neat. You can enable force out turn one. Sometimes you want to do that, but like I think there's better cards that do that. So Yeah, I think it's gonna be meh even in draft. It'll just be there. It's a card that'll be played in limited, not see any played in constructed.
Yeah.
Next up is Aura Sing.
1/4 raid 2 for 2. That's not too bad, I suppose. It's on attack, you're a 3/4. The hidden is incidental. I mean, it's a turn 1 play. Like, there's so many turn 1 plays that are hidden. When's that coming into play? Unless you're some go wide deck or something like that. But on attack, 3/4. On defense, not as great, but at least it's sticky. It might still live from attacks.
It's Underworld, so Slam Dunk and Cad Bane, like
Yeah.
getting essentially Battlefield Marine that triggers your leader ability, only when attacking, but you don't really care. You can pull it off Vader, and then the hidden probably matters because they can't actually attack it.
Yeah.
Later in the game, which is nice. So yeah, I definitely think she'll see play. She's got great stats on attack, and like if they're attacking into her, she trades with almost every turn 1 play if they attack into her or she attacks it. Killing a Battlefield Marine and living sounds great to me. I like turn 1 plays that do that. So I'll definitely be playing her, and I bet she sees quite a bit of play.
Yeah.
Then we've got Deceptive Shade.
This is going to be interesting. Defeat it, and the next thing you play gains ambush. Might be good to help clear out their stuff early on. 2/3, the stats are fine. Not the best. Sith Tag and Undead, but possibly. Like I said, being able to give something ambush essentially for free could be kind of nice.
Yeah, and some sort of combo deck, like New Vader is a prime example. That card with ambush is just ridiculous. So if you're playing blue yellow villain, you might consider this card just to give that card ambush. Like if you can set it up, it's a pretty insane tempo swing. Outside of like some cute combo decks, I don't see it. Its stats aren't super exciting, its traits don't matter, so I don't think it's going to see play in like a majority of decks. But if the deck it is played in has a home in the meta, and it's doing strong things, I could definitely see it.
Yeah.
And we've got Banking Plan Shuttle.
3 cost 3/3 space unit, hidden. Here, where I think the hidden could matter a little more because 3/3, it's going to be easily taken out by something, but they can attack it on the first turn, so you could at least almost guarantee that you get to use it next turn. It's another Separatist unit. If you've got a Separatist style deck, I could see maybe using this. But just okay. It'll be good in limited.
Really wish it was a 3/4.
Yeah.
Dying to 2 drops even with hidden is not an ideal place to be as a space unit unless your text is pretty crazy. Yeah, I mean it's fine. It'll see play in limited. It probably won't see play in Premier because there is a metric ton of good 3-cost Cunning villainy space units. Like it is kind of insane how much good space units Cunning villainy has gotten. So we've got Nihil Marauder.
1/5 raid 3. I mean, this could be a decent attacker. I mean, 4/5 on attack. Underworld. I don't know if the trooper will matter, but I think this one's kind of nice.
With Cad Ping, it kills those pesky 3/5s. Seems great.
Yeah.
Like Cad got a ton of great support in the Force set, which is hilarious to me. I'm glad they made that happen. Like that and the capital ship in the set are some of the most surprising things that did indeed happen. Yeah, I mean it's a slam dunk in Cad. It'll probably see play in other Cunning Villainy decks. The 3-drop slot isn't like great. It's not like super hotly contested for those decks, so I can see it. It'll definitely see some play. Then we've got Shin Hati.
Hidden and shielded. 4/2. Stats aren't fantastic, but it's hidden and shielded, so it'll stick around for a little bit. That's a force keyword, so could be useful in something if you need 3-drop force unit in Cunning for ability.
It's really sticky. Both hidden and shielded are
Yeah.
keywords that help it stay on the board. So it is very likely to live and get an attack off. Get you that
Yeah.
force, which is great for limited, obviously, or if you're a force deck premier. It's obviously insane in Gar-Saxon. Gets that 5th power. You can
Yeah.
either attack for 5 or you can kill 3/5s. Both are great.
Yeah.
Flexibility that is allowed. Again, Gar-Saxon was a leader that was not on my bingo card to get an insane amount of support, and he got an insane amount of support this set. But yeah, she's pretty great. She'll definitely see some play, especially in Gar-Saxon.
Yeah.
Then we've got Second Sister.
3/6 Force Imperial Inquisitor. On attack, discard 2 cards from your deck, and then for each force card, ready a resource. That can be pretty useful. You got a deck full of force units. I can see hitting that often. 3/6, so she'll probably live through an attack or two. Might be able to, get something extra off with those extra resources.
All right, get out the pitchforks. They reprinted Boba Fett's ability. It's fan leader. We
Right.
gotta burn down FFGHQ or something. No, that's fine. Like it's pretty difficult to fit enough force cards in your deck with this consistently readies 2. Like you can probably get it to consistently ready 1 every attack, which is
Yeah.
it's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get the high roll of 2. It's obviously like it's designed to work in Grand Inquisitor, Someone Grand Inquisitor, where you can ready it and potentially ready a ton of resources, but that I still don't see that leader doing anything. 6 to play 3/6 is just really, really bad. Kind of killed the leader. It's after entrenched support if you need a ton of cards in your discard for some weird reason. Those decks are still fringe, but maybe if we get some more support, those might be decks that want more self-mill, and this is a very efficient form of self-mill. Yeah, like it just seems okay. I don't think it has a home currently in a real deck, but I definitely think it's got potential for the future.
Mhm.
We want to mill ourselves. And we've got Balin Skull.
5/5 for 5 and hidden. Use the force when played and return a non-leader unit that costs 4 or less to the owner's hand, and then they may play it for free. So you can new adventure something.
Mm-hmm.
I could see doing it on one of your own things, replaying a when played ability, healing a unit. I could see this seeing some play.
So it's got obvious energy with the Shinhati unit. You use the force, put Shinhati back in your hand, play Shinhati for free. She refreshes her shield, she refreshes her hidden.
Yep.
Which is cool. Nice and thematic. My problem with it outside of Shinhani is a lot of the cards you want to bounce with this currently also have to use the force to use their ability, like or Talzin's Assassin. Blank down some other ones, but Talzin's Assassin is one I always think about. Like it'd be great if I could bounce this card on curve, but I can't because I can't doubly use the force. So
Another thing you could do with it is kind of consider it like a confiscate or power failure
mm-hmm.
on an opponent. Just make them bounce the unit and they lose all their upgrades for free.
Yeah, it is nice that like bare minimum it's a upgrade removal or an exhaust effect. Like you can just bounce an active unit and they play it back exhausted. Obviously, don't do that if it is a powerful when played ability, but
yeah.
Yeah, and 5/5, man. I hate 5-cost 5/5s. I should stop running them. Like, Jesus, give it that 6 power. Let it trade with Poe. Let me kill their frickin' Poe. Yeah. And I don't know how often the hidden matters. It's a nice bonus, but I'd much rather that 6 power. I don't think he really like has a home that's super excited about him currently in a competitive deck. So I doubt we'll see much of him in the competitive scene play wise. He'll definitely see some play in some lower level decks, so like locals or whatever. Though you can do some cool things with him.
Yeah.
Then we've got Marchion Rowe.
6/7 for 6, nice numbers, and then each friendly unit's raid is doubled. If you got a bunch of raid and if you have a slower meta where cards will stick around and you can have a few turns to use this ability, that could be scary. But I mean, underworld unit, so fine. Um, like I said, if you have a bunch of raid, that could be nasty.
Yeah, I think this is the kind of ability that is like impactful enough that I'm like kind of okay with it not having immediate impact. Like it's still bad, but it's not like the end of the world when this ability has such a high ceiling.
Yeah.
Like on good stats and raid units typically have low power and a high raid value. Like the Nihil Marauder we saw earlier is a
Mm-hmm.
3 cost 1/5 raid 3. So it doubles its raid, which means it's attacking for 7 with this thing in play, and that's a 3 drop. Like
Yeah, that's
um
a lot.
which is pretty insane if you can stick stuff to the board. Obvious CAD mention. CAD happens to have raid 2
Mm-hmm.
conveniently, so you can deploy CAD, play Martian Row, trigger CAD, then you have to deal 2 damage to one of their units, and then your CAD's attacking for 6, and you've got a 6/7. Like, he seems like an obvious fit into that deck if there's space and we're not too worried about him getting waylaid. Um,
Right.
outside of that deck, like I think your leader really has to have raid to consider him. And I think CAD is like the primary competitive leader that has raid. So I don't think we'll see him much outside of CAD, but it'll be pretty strong in CAD in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Next up is Corrupted Saber.
Another saber, another upgrade for 2/1. The defender will get -2 if you attack a defender. Um, it's okay. If you've got room for the upgrades, I can see this being used in like a limited deck and whatnot. Um, yeah, I mean, obviously, if the attached unit is a force unit, you get that ability. So um, it's okay.
Hey, we can put it on Grand Inquisitor leader, and now we get a full disarm on attack. Let's go. Yeah, it's a limited card. It'll be very scary in Grand Inquisitor limited. We're just not making room for our deck for disarm on a 2/1 for 2
Right.
upgrade in Premier. You just really need to have more impact as an upgrade than that. So we've got As I Have Foreseen.
It's like the villainy. You're my only hope.
Yep.
But you have to use the force. You can play the card for 4 less. If you have a way of looking at the top of your deck and you've got some cool combo, maybe maybe
Yeah,
in like a Thrawn 1 if there was a good Thrawn 1.
yeah. Throne one is the obvious home. The annoying part is getting the force in that deck. It's not immediately easy
Yeah.
unless you're playing Mystic Monastery, but yeah, it's obviously very strong if you know what the top card of your deck. So it's something to look out for if we ever get more leaders that manipulate the top card of your deck or let you see it, like Throne one. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it is neat that people are already like playing turn 2 Executor with this card in Throne, which is very funny. That if you haven't seen that combo, you have to play Bib turn 1. Then turn 2, you have to have Galactic Ambition on the top of your deck, and you have to have Executor and As I've Foreseen in your hand. You use Mystic Monastery, you gain the Force, and you tap Bib to play As I've Foreseen for free. Then you have 3 resources, and you play the top card of your deck. You play the As I've Foreseen, play the top card of your deck for 4 less, so you get to play Galactic Ambition for free. And then you play Executor, and you deal what is it, 11? I think 11 to your base, and you get an
Mm-hmm.
Executor on turn 2. Now, is that going to happen semi-consistently? No. It's
No.
very funny when it does pop off like that, though. You have to line up so many things. But it does enable crazy stuff like this, and it's definitely a card to look out for in the future if we get, more leaders that manipulate the top of your deck. Uh,
Yeah.
especially force ones that can set it up well. I could see a Darth Sidious leader that does something close to that, but currently it doesn't exist, so it's going to be a meme card in Thrawn. But sometimes meme cards are fun, so it's cool that it's there, even if it's not doing anything major right now. And we've got Liberated by Darkness.
So a cheaper uh, change of heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you have to use the force. Um, I mean, I can see it seeing play in a force deck. I mean, change of heart sees some play, so I can see this seeing play as well.
Yeah, Change Heart's a really strong effect, and getting it for
Yeah.
one cheaper if you're randomly playing the Force, why not? Like,
Yeah.
no reason not to, especially sideboard. Um, it is interesting that you can play three of this and three Change of Heart if you really want that effect in your deck, if you're a Force deck.
Hmm.
Like, I could see potentially a Palpatine Yellow running the Force base, and if there's enough ways to game the Force to be able to play six Change of Hearts, because in Palpatine, Change of Heart is just removal for one extra resource,
Yeah.
which is kind of crazy to think about. Um, yeah, I mean it's a solid card. Change Art's a good effect, so obviously Change Art for one less is a good effect. And we've got Anakin Skywalker.
Little Annie. 1/1 hidden shielded force. Fine. If you've got room for one drops and you need a real cheap force unit, um, you know, you can play them. You can force throw immediately. But yeah, if you don't need really, really cheap force units, then it's just okay.
Yeah, of course this small child is the best force throw user in the game. What are they thinking? This is such a flavor fill. Um, yeah, I mean he's like fine. Like he's a sticky force unit. You'll get your force on turn two. I actually think this card would be great for limited. It's kind of unfortunate it's a starter card, so it's going to be very, very rare and limited. Um, but yeah, like if you're playing Force Throw and need Force units, you probably include him in your deck. If you're not playing Force Throw, you need a second one drop to pair with him, and that seems unlikely with the lack of one cost Force units. So he's probably not
Yeah.
going in. Um, yeah. Then we've got BD1.
Another one drop hidden unit. It's like a smaller the 3-cost Jedi droid thing. Get something +1 in Saboteur while this is in play. I guess that could be useful if you're wanting to play off curve, or if you happen to have 2 1-drops that you play and you pump your other one with +1 in Saboteur. Other than that, I just don't see it being incredibly useful.
This is a really nice Han 4 card. Being able to play like a one drop ship and then play BD1 and give it +1 to Saboteur. Seems great in that deck. Outside of Han 1, like or Han 4, I mean, there's just not a lot of decks that want one drops, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, you aren't playing them on turn ones, you have to be playing them as curve filler. Generally, decks just want to curve out. Like, you don't really want the filler, you just want to draw your curve. So, yeah, I mean, it's nice to buff your leader and give it Saboteur potentially, especially if you got an early to play leader, but I just don't think any of those, like, really exist in the meta outside of Sabine. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see much of it.
Yeah.
Now we've got N1 Starfighter.
The yellow Phoenix Squadron A-Wing. Just a 3/2 vanilla. Maybe slightly worse than the Phoenix Squadron A-Wing, just because it's Naboo as opposed to Rebel. But yeah, Phoenix Squadron A-Wing sees a lot of play. I could see this seeing some play in a yellow deck, just to get yourself a turn 1 space unit with decent attack.
They should just print one of these in every color combination, in my opinion.
Yes.
These are great. Like, these will see play. Like, it's just well-statted space unit. Like, I don't need more out of it. I just need it to attack for 3 and not die to 1 damage ping. Like,
yeah. If I get 1 attack out of it, great.
Yep.
If I get to trade with something, great.
But yeah, every one of these that they print, it'll instantly be playable. It's just a premium stat line in space, and there's no downside.
If you're playing both yellow and green, you can have 6 of these.
Heck yeah. Next up is Youngling Padawan.
I like the wind blade ability. Create the force immediately. Turn 1. Don't even have to attack. Nothing. You've got the force. 2, 3, stats or whatever. I like the wind blade.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to guarantee you the force even if your opponent's keeping you off attacking.
Yeah.
If you need it for your leader ability or whatever. It's obviously very strong in Obi-Wan, where you can give an experience with Obi-Wan's ability on turn 1. Then you get a 2-cost 3/4. It's pretty good. So yeah, it'll see play, especially in Obi-Wan, but probably in most Yellow Hero Force decks. It's just really nice to be able to guarantee you the force. And get your engine rolling. We've got J-type Nubian starship.
This must be the favorable delegate's ship.
Nice
But a space version of that, 2/4, one that could actually attack for a little bit. Draw a card, discard a card. I would expect it to see about as much play as a favorable delegate, maybe a little more, just because its 2 attack is, better. It's not fantastic, but draws you a card.
It's a nice Kazuda card. You can play it, and then you can just blank it every turn. And then you got a 2-cost 2/4 that drew a card on there.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good. Outside of Kazuda, it's probably not going to see much play in Premier. There's just better space unit options that don't have a downside. I do really like these types of effects in Twin Suns. Being able to play a body that represents something to the board that also helps you dig closer to your more explosive cards is really nice in an 8-card singleton format. So I'll definitely be playing a lot of it in Twin Suns probably. But in Premier, I don't see it. There are better options. We've got Vernistrea Rioa.
3/3/4, which is fine, and when played, use the force. Ready this unit. I like it. This following a youngling Padawan could be good. Mm-hmm. You've already got the force. Now ready this. So yeah, I like it.
Because Han 1 needed a ground falcon to go with their space falcon.
Exactly.
Yeah, like Millennium Falcon for Spark Rebellion sees a ton of play, so obviously this is going to see play. This is the same effect without a downside, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I've already seen Quinlan still playing Tarkentown and playing Youngling Padawan just to spend the force to let their Vernistreas that are ready. Like, this card is that strong. Yeah, I mean, she's great. Like, no downside, good stats, good ability. Of course, she'll see play.
Force and Jedi traits.
Yep. Then we've got Jedi Sentinel.
If you have the Force, you have a Sentinel. If you don't, you have a 5/4 for 4. I mean, it's fine. It's got good attack numbers. Defense numbers aren't super fantastic. About the low end of average for 4. I don't know. There's probably better things to do with 4.
The real problem is competition on the 4-drop slot, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like Kira and Ahsoka immediately come to mind, and there's probably some more, especially depending on the color combination. Like, it's just like this will end up being probably the 3rd or 4th best 4-drop, and it just won't make the cut, I think. There's nothing wrong with the card. The text is good. The stats are good. Like, I play Cham all the time as a 4-cost 5/4 vanilla. This is a 4-cost 5/4 vanilla with Force and Jedi traits. If you don't have the Force, which is pretty good. The biggest problem is competition, which I don't think we'll see play in Premier because of that. It sounds pretty gnarly and limited, though.
Yeah.
Then we've got Qui-Gon Jinn's Aether Sprite.
On attack, the next time you use a 1-plate ability, you can use it twice. So if you've got a bunch of 1-plate abilities, this could come into play. The numbers 3/6. It's not attacking for a whole lot. Got decent defense numbers, I guess. But Jedi trait, Republic. It's okay. It could be good.
It's got a little bit below average stats for a 5-drop space unit. The text is fine. I think the biggest issue with the text is for it to matter at all, you have to have it work with another card. So you have to very deliberately build your deck to be able to abuse this. And last time I looked, there actually aren't too many 6-drops with 1-plate abilities that actually matter. That aren't because ambush isn't one. A lot of 6-drops have ambush. You can't double ambush. But yeah, I don't know. It'll maybe see some play. It's obviously intended to work with Qui-Gon, which it does do that if it's worth slotting. But I could easily see it being cut from any list. Also, it's not too impactful unless you have specific other cards that work with it.
Yeah.
Then we got Stinger Mantis.
1-plate, deal 2 damage to an exhausted unit. That's a little specific that the unit has to be exhausted. But I do like playing something and getting to deal some damage to something. 4/6 stats for 5-drop space unit. Um, the traits aren't special, but this is one of those maybes.
It's like okay, like
Yeah,
I actually think it might see some play due to lack of competition. I don't think there's any other playable 5-drop space units in
yeah.
Cunning Heroism. Um, but yeah, I'm not excited to put it in my deck. It's just a curve filler. Like, it does a
Limited,
thing
I'm
on play.
totally putting it in.
Um, yeah, definitely could see some play due to lack of competition. Next is Depa Balaba.
5/7 ambush and saboteur for 6. Force and Jedi. Um, this one seems pretty good. Again, it's going to be one of those situations where maybe the competition for that spot, but I like ambush. The saboteur could come in to play. It's probably going to live when it ambushes. I mean, it's got 7 defense.
Yeah, 6 goes 5/7 ambush. Like those are great ambush stats. Saboteur means they can't protect it with a sentinel, or it can just snipe a village protectors, which is nice. Yeah, seems pretty good. Another card that is just like an issue of space and competition, right? Like, are there better 6-drops I can be playing? Do I need a 6-drop in my deck? Stuff like that.
Yeah,
That might cause her not see play, but nothing's wrong with the card. Seems pretty
yeah.
good. Now we've got Qui-Gon Jinn.
I like Qui-Gon Jinn. You can get some 2-for-1s with this. Ambush it and pick something big that's going to kill it back. Take out 2 units at once. Kill one, and the opponent has to either put it on top or bottom of their deck. So I like it. Very impactful, immediate. You can get rid of 2 units potentially.
Yeah, I mean it's really nice that it can potentially 2-for-1.
Yeah.
7-power ambush has been seen to be pretty good as well. We've seen a lot of Maul unit from set 2 see play for that
Yeah.
reason. Being able to snipe 7 health units is a nice utility.
Even
Force
if
Republic, good traits like having
yeah,
Force Ambusher to get your force if they're keeping you off of it is nice. Again, it's another card that kind of has a competition problem. Both Han Unit and Umpy's Nest are
mhm.
really good in the situations where they're good. This is also really good in the situations where they're good, but like I doubt we're playing all 3 of them. I don't know. Maybe there's a crazy Han deck that plays 2 of each of them.
Maybe the
Deck,
Han 1 deck that just loads up with 7s.
but yeah, if you're not playing Han, like it's an issue of competition, and also if you're not playing Han, like are you getting to 7 often and you haven't already lost or won the game? That's another
Right.
issue with Yellow Hero. Um, yeah, outside of that, all the words on the card are good. It'll definitely see some play in some deck. And then you got to have his lightsaber to go with them, of course.
uh, so yeah, another named lightsaber. So obviously it's supposed to be better on the person whose lightsaber it is. You can exhaust any number of units with a combined cost of 6 or less. I could see that being potentially impactful. But obviously, if you have a Qui-Gon Jinn in play, whether it be a unit or the leader. So yeah, just like any of those named lightsabers, they're good if everything lines up.
Another card that's competition is pretty strict. I'm gonna pull up the General's Blade and Jedi Lightsaber thing.
Yeah.
Like these are the prime examples for upgrades in Force decks, and like I don't think it's quite as good. I think Exhaust is a little bit less of text, but if you're not playing green or blue, if you're playing yellow or red, it's a pretty good upgrade. Like even if you don't get the text +3/+1 is like fine stats. So I can definitely see it seeing some play in Qui-Gon decks that aren't playing blue or green.
Yeah.
If those are a thing that people are playing. Next up is Mind Trick.
Exhaust any number of units with a combined power of 4 or less, and if you control a force unit, they lose their abilities and can't gain abilities for the phase. There are other ways to just exhaust anything without any limitation. The losing ability, can't gain abilities, maybe, in some situations that could be important, but overall, I think I'd rather just play another exhaust effect.
I feel like this card is like custom designed to mess with Super Laser Technician.
Right.
Being able to exhaust their Super Laser Technician, make it lose all text, and then go in and finish it off, and they don't get their ramp. Like that's obviously very powerful.
Yeah.
Outside of that context, I don't think this card is very good. Yeah, limiting the exhaust to not just being like exhaust a unit really sucks. Having you have a force unit for the blank is like annoying for some decks. Like we were playing a force deck that text is basically free, but like it's whatever. Like if you're not hosing over a super laser tech, I don't think it's really worth the slot. And there are other things you can do to play around super laser tech that have more utility in other situations. Now we've got Premonition of Doom.
You take the initiative and exhaust everything. If you have some very stall focused, control focused, or tempo-y deck, maybe this could be cool. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't see a lot of uses for this card.
We're going to play Thrawn 1, and we're going to play 3 Outmaneuver, and 3 Premonition of Doom, and 3 Bounty Hunter Crew, and we're just going to tap our opponent's whole board every turn.
Right.
I don't know how we win the game at that point, but that's what we're doing. Yeah, it's just, like, it's not... Hero doesn't want this kind of effect in Premier. It might be in every Yellow Hero Twin Suns deck, though, because it's really funny to be able to just play this, and it's like, my max action, the whole board might get exhausted, and now people have to play around it. They have to make moves that they weren't considering making. They have to, I don't know, consider not deploying their leader, stuff like that. It's got really fun interactions in Twin Suns. But yeah, it just doesn't do enough in Premier in a color combo that doesn't really want this effect.
Yeah.
Then we've got Zuckuss.
This would be cool in a Thrawn 1 deck. Other than that, I mean, if you have no idea what they have on top of their deck, I just don't see the ability coming into play all that often. But yeah, if you're going to play, a double yellow Thrawn, then fine.
It is neat that the Forlom unit from Shadows of the Galaxy gives us ambush still.
Yeah.
That is really good. But yeah, if you're not playing a leader that lets you see the top card of your opponent's deck, or if you're playing cards in your deck that let you see the top card of your opponent's deck, which currently don't exist as far as I know. So yeah, I think it's just limited to Thrawn 1 currently, and Thrawn 1 yellow isn't going to be like a super competitive deck, but
right.
This probably shoots it into fringe status. This card's effect is really strong when it's on all the time, being able to attack for 8, potentially with ambush. So yeah, it'll see play in like some fringe Thrawn 1 yellow decks. I don't think it'll see play anywhere else, though. No Underworld really sucks.
Yeah.
Now we've got Force Speed.
Another double yellow card. But hey, you get to attack with the unit, and then you can bounce any number of non-unique upgrades. I don't think this needed to be double yellow. Like, I don't think it's supremely powerful of an effect that it needed to be double aspect.
I read this card as I was preparing for this video, and I was like, oh yeah, this is bad. And then I realized it was double yellow. And I'm like, okay, this card is tremendously bad. Like, it definitely did not have to be a double yellow card.
No.
Like, it only bounces the upgrade, so unless it's like shields or experience, this is just like really inefficient upgrade hate. Like, Bamboozle costs 0 and exhausts the unit. Like, just play Bamboozle.
I don't see the, fine, the action economy, I don't think warranted it being double yellow.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like a mess of a card that has much, like, you can play much better cards that do a similar type of effect in your deck.
I wanted a better effect for something called Force Speed.
Yeah, compared to the card in Destiny, wow, this card it's not up to snuff. Where's our take 3 additional actions? Come on.
Right.
Now that's what I expect on a double yellow card, is take 3 additional actions. Don't print that, though. Don't. I don't want it to exist. I would expect it to exist, but I don't want it.
Attack with a unit and then ready it?
Yeah, that'd be supremely powerful too. It'd have to be
Yeah,
expensive, but I can see it. Next up is Babu Frick.
I like Babu Frick. 1/4 action attack with a friendly droid, and then it uses its hit points instead of its power. Um, I think that could be fun with, you know, hell, turn 1 Babu Frick and an R2 or something, and then next turn R2 is attacking for 4, without even having the saber on me or anything.
Yeah, I mean this card is another one that it's like hilarious. So they made space in the force set for Babu Frick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an awesome card. Like it's a very funny card. And it's like yeah, pretty powerful. You can leave with a 1/4 droid unit. You just get a 4 power attacker every turn. Like that's pretty scary. Um, yeah, I mean he'll see play if there are decks that want to play cheap droids with high HP.
Yeah.
And he's definitely setting up for potential droid support leader in the future that would really abuse him. So we'll see. It's definitely got potential. Cool. Then we've got Lothcat.
Another exhaust effect. There's a lot of exhaust effects in this set, it seems, but turn 1, 2/1 numbers are really nothing to speak of. But when played and when defeated, you can exhaust a ground unit. Likely you're only going to get the ability off once, because once it's on the board, they'll just kill it in a way where there's nothing left to exhaust.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's meh.
This is the kind of text I'd expect out of a 2/3 unit. Why is it a 2/1?
Yeah.
It's funny you can double it with Thrawn and exhaust 2 things when it dies. It's like entertaining. Yeah, I mean, it's a 2-drop that has text that doesn't matter when you play it on turn 1.
Yeah.
Like it's just meh. Like I don't think it'll see any play. Then we've got Mysterious Hermit.
Apparently she really hates Lothcats, because otherwise I don't know what else she's going to ambush. That or the first Maz Kanata. I mean, a 1/4 ambush. I don't see ever using the ambush.
Like it's supposed to be like a directed by the Force in the mid game. You just play it, you suicide it, you get the Force. Like maybe it finishes something off. Like it's a pretty poor turn 1 play.
Gives you the Force.
Like its traits don't really matter outside of Force. Yeah, it's just okay. It might be the last turn 1 play in your Force deck if you just really want that Force unit in that slot. There's nothing better to play. Yeah, it's not going to see any play outside of like a fringe last slot in a deck.
I guess, yeah, if you have your 28 hit point Force base, this is a turn 1, Force.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Nope.
Then I've got Tusken Tracker.
2/4 raid 2, so I mean it attacks for 4, so it's like a 4/4 on attack. Enemies lose hidden for this phase. If your opponent has a lot of hidden units, maybe this could be impactful. But the 2/4 raid 2, I think, is fine. The
traits don't matter.
Potential bonus. Yeah, the trait doesn't matter, Tusken.
You can play 3 of this in your main deck and just bully that one, either second or third sister. I always forget which one it is. That's the leader of the set that gives everything hidden.
Right.
Yeah, just bully that one player at your locals. Like it's not gonna see any play. Like there's no like super OP hidden deck that you need to sideboard this for.
Right.
It'll probably be pretty good in limited, being a 3-drop that hits for 4 and hits those random hidden units people are playing.
Yeah.
Then we've got Charging Thilac.
A 3/4 ambusher for 4, and hidden. Interesting. Probably be okay in limited. I don't see it seeing a whole lot of play in any premier deck.
Yeah, that 4th attack on 4-cost ambushers is pretty important. That's why Modded Cohort and Hidden Sharpshooter actually see play.
Mm-hmm.
killing a Kira that just deployed, killing a Sabine with Quinlan Ping or whatever. Like these are the situations where that fourth power really matters. So yeah, 3/4 like it's kind of busted after Molecule on turn one, I guess. If we're playing yellow green creatures, but outside of that, it's not going to see any play.
Yeah.
Then I've got Dooku.
I like his one played ability if you're really going, strong with that hidden effect. If you got a lot of hidden cards. Other than that, it's a 5/4 for 4. He's hidden himself. He's Force and Jedi. So yeah, he's hidden. You'll probably get to attack with him next turn for 5. And if you have other hidden units, they're safe for another turn. So, if you have that type of deck, it could be good. I just don't see it being used in any other type of deck, really.
Yeah, I mean it's a really unique effect. It's a cool design. If you're not playing Oops All Hidden, don't put him in your deck. If you're playing that sister deck, put him in your deck because he just refreshes all your units with Hidden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's likely to live and attack the next turn for 5, which is nice. 5/4 is a good stat line. Like all the words are like fine. It's just if he's worth putting in your deck, like if the bottom text actually matters compared to other 4-drops you can play in the slot. And then we've got Lifewind Sage.
Force unit, 3/5 for 4. When an enemy unit is exhausted, it gains raid 2. So ultimately, it's a 5/5 on attack. I could see that that 5/5 will come up often, because you obviously is going to attack or exhaust a unit. Is it super fantastic? No. Could be potentially solid, but again, more competition for 4-drop slots.
Yeah, another card that just like there's nothing wrong with this card. Like the words are fine, but the competition is pretty stiff right now for 4-drops and Cunning. So
in limited, it'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be great in limited, and I bet Cal will just bully you with this in limited. Exhaust a guy, take 5, deploy Cal, take 4, or whatever, or take 3. But yeah, outside of limited, I don't see it. I've got the Legacy run.
The Legacy run. 3/3 for 5. So the numbers are terrible, but it kind of lends itself to its when defeated ability. Deal 6 damage divided as you choose among enemy units. That could be pretty good. I mean, that's kind of its job, is just to get itself killed. Hell, if you're playing, what's it, Thrawn 2? The second Thrawn from the last set 4. 12 damage. That can be scary.
Don't worry, guys. They reprinted Overwhelming Barrage and Cunning. We're fine. It'll because Cunning gets everything. Cunning totally needed a wide damage.
Why not?
Ability.
Yeah.
Just give them Restore at this point. Like, make it a meme. It'd be really funny. But yeah, in Thrawn 4, where you can double it, or Emperor Palpatine from set 1, where you can sack it and draw a card, and you actually get 7 damage out of it. Seems like it's got potential in those shells. Outside of those leaders, it's just too slow. You have to like set it up with sneak attack or whatever to use it to its fullest potential, and leaders aren't going to make room for that kind of package. So
yeah.
Then we've got Sorcerers of Tund.
6/6 shielded. Force for 6. Solid. I mean, it's hard to get rid of. It'll be really good I think, in limited. Not horribly impactful, but if you're playing a longer game, you want to keep it around, it's going to probably stay. So
one card closer to that. Every unit in the deck is shielded. Twin Sunset with Gar Saxon. Yeah, I mean it's like a limited Haymaker, nice curve topper for limited. It doesn't do anything when played, so it's not going to see playing constructed. Then we've got Ascension Cable.
So you give something Saboteur and a 1/3. it'll see about as much play as the red card from set one, the red upgrade that gives you Saboteur.
Yep. Infiltrator skill.
Infiltrator skill, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Like, all the words are fine. I like 2 cost plus 1 plus 3 for 2. That's about the stat line I want out of an upgrade.
I like the plus 1 plus 3 better than the Saboteur.
Yeah, Saboteur is, like, fine. It matters, like, once in a blue moon. Mm-hmm. Sometimes your opponent's playing Obi-Wan Oops All Sentinels, and then they're sad. Sometimes your opponent's playing Sabine that literally does nothing. So, yeah, like, it's a decently statted upgrade. Might see play in some Kylo decks, because Kylo needs a ton of upgrades anyway. But outside of that, I don't see any decks that, like, really is desperately going to slot this compared to other cards they can play.
Yeah.
Then we've got Disturbance in the Force.
So if a friendly unit left play, whether it got bounced or defeated or anything, you can gain the Force for 1 and give a shield to something. It's okay. I mean, you're playing a Force deck and you want a cheap way to get the Force back, and as an added bonus, you give a shield to something. So I could see a place for it in Cunning Force decks.
Yeah, I mean, I like this a lot more than Moment of Peace, which is 1 cost give a shield. Give a shield, gain the Force is a lot better for 1 resource. The condition is, like, trivial. So yeah, if you're playing a Force deck that really wants it to spend it multiple times a phase, I could definitely see sliding this into your deck and using it to some effect. Next up is Force Slow.
-8 to an exhausted unit. I just don't see a whole lot of use for this card. If you really want your unit to live, great. You can possibly kill something with a large attack, and that's fine. Or you can just waylay it or something.
Yeah. They did it. They power crap disarm. The game's going to die. Again, get the pitchforks out. Nah, like, it's not going to see any play in Premier. It's going to see the same amount of play as Disarm has.
Yeah.
Like, it's... Like, you have to play this on something big that's exhausted, so they've already probably gotten value out of it or just immediately played it. And then you have to have a large enough board to actually attack in and kill this exhausted thing. And then you just could have gone base with all your units, so your opponent's probably dying. Like, just... I rarely see where this card lines up and is, like, actually really strong.
Yeah.
Like, even in limited, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see putting this in a limited deck.
Just kind of filler. They needed to fill a slot in the set. They printed weird, bad disarm. It's a card now, but it's not going to see me play. Now we've got Impossible Escape.
Exhaust something, exhaust a friendly unit, or use the Force, and then you can exhaust an enemy unit and draw a card. Only costs 1. I mean, I'd rather use the Force to do it and exhaust the enemy and draw the card. Not many scenarios where I'd want to exhaust my own unit to exhaust theirs. I mean, you want to exhaust something small to exhaust one of their larger units, fine, and draw a card. So, I mean, you get a couple things out of it, especially if you have the Force. So, could be neat. I could see it seeing play in like limited.
Yeah, like 1 cost exhausting it. Use the Force draw card. Like, that's, like, fine. All the words are, like, okay. I just don't think many decks are like, yes, that's what my deck needed, is a 1 cost exhaust event. Let's throw that in my deck. Like, there's just more impactful cards you can put in your deck. It'll be pretty disgusting and limited to exhaust your opponent's leader for only 1 resource, though, and probably draw a card, too. Then we've got Psychometry.
If your deck is tribal, this is a cheap search card. If you need a search card. If you don't need a search card, then don't need to put it in your deck.
Admiral Trench Enjoyers Rejoice. All these, you mill, you deploy, you mill 3, they discard your Super Laser Blast, you play Psychometry, you find another Super Laser Blast of your top 5 cards because it's both tactics. Yeah, I think it's really strong with tactics, and then it's got like niche uses in tribal decks, like especially in Twin Suns, where a rebel unit, you just killed my rebel 2-drop. All right, I'm gonna play Psychometry and go draw a better rebel.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I don't think it makes the cut in many premier decks, but it's really good to dig through your deck in Twin Suns, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Next up is Xian Flurry.
So the Cunning timely intervention
Yep.
um, has to be a force unit though. Um, and they prevent 2 damage as well. I mean, timely intervention sees play. I can totally see this seeing play too.
Yeah, I mean, any way you can give the new Vader ambush is a good card, probably.
Yeah, yeah.
Like people are definitely going to try blue yellow villain with Vader in it. Give it an ambush with this card. I mean, I'd play timely that reduced 2 damage from a unit. Like sure, force restriction basically doesn't matter. You're playing force stick anyway if you're putting it in your deck. So yeah, it'll definitely see some play. Seems
Yep.
good. I've got trust your instincts.
For one, you can use a force and attack with the unit, and it gets +2 and deals combat damage before the defender. So it's another. Was it shoot first?
Yep, shoot first.
But with the force and a slightly bigger combat bump. Um, I mean, shoot first saw a lot of play at first, not so much anymore, but I could see this seeing some play. But the +2 is definitely better.
Yeah. I like +2 a lot more than I like +1. I think it lets units up trade a lot easier. Like my 3-cost 3/5 with +2/+0 and first strike kills your 3-cost 3/5. I mean, that's just one example. I'm sure it comes up all points of the curve. But yeah, +2/+0 is a pretty significant buff for one resource. Like even if you're attacking base, just getting +2/+0 for 1 in the force seems pretty decent to me. I can definitely see decks that might want to slot this in and use it to great effect.
Yeah.
And they made me put a neutral card in my cutting card slideshow because you can't explain a precarious predicament without having it worse on screen. So here's a precarious predicament, and it's worse.
So you can bounce something unless the opponent says it could be worse. But then if they do, then you can play it's worse from your hand or resource row for free. It's just a really roundabout way to defeat something. I mean, your opponent is always going to say it's worse.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're just on the off chance that you're bluffing, they might as well just call it. They're going to bounce the unit. They're going to lose it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So always do that. So now you've committed 2 cards for 1 bounce, for 1 defeat effect. If you really, 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 really need more removal and you can afford 6 slots for 3 removal, fine. Otherwise, I just don't see why I'd put it in over Waylay. If I'm playing Heroic, then I'd do Spare the Target on top of it if I really needed more removal. So, yeah.
I feel like there maybe be a conversation if Precarious Predicament cost 1. Like, only 1 resource discount from Waylay. Like, it's just not happening. Like, you always call it could be worse, and then if they play it's worse from their resources, they deramp themselves. Like, yay. Yeah. Like, you're super excited. If they play it from hand, they 2-for-1 themselves, and it's like the unit was going to get bounced anyway. So yeah, like this combination of cards, it's very thematic. It's like a cute mini game, but it's not going to see play in any serious decks at all.
No.
And we've got Force Illusion.
Exhaust an enemy unit and a friendly unit gains Sentinel for this phase. So we were talking about exhausting effects and stuff. This is just a straight up exhaust something for 2. And then you can give something Sentinel for this phase. So better than some other exhaust effects. Do I need to play this? Or am I just playing Sentinels anyway?
Yeah, just put Sentinels in your deck. Like, that's my problem with any effect that gives Sentinel. Like, unless it's super efficient, like, I'm just going to play Sentinel over it, probably.
Out
Seems
of those
nice.
effects, this is probably my favorite one because you do get to exhaust an enemy unit at least, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, just play Sentinel.
Um, it's really nice in Twin Sense. Being able to exhaust some big threat and then either protect yourself by giving a weenie sentinel, or you can give an enemy unit sentinel that.
No, it's a friendly unit.
Oh, it's friendly unit against
Yeah,
sentinel. All right,
specifically
less
friendly
good.
unit.
So good in Twin Sense. Just
Yeah.
stop yourself. Man, they ruined it. I was so excited to stop people from hiding from sentinels, but you can't do that. Yeah, it seems fine in Twin Sense.
Mhm.
I've got Pounce.
Um, the only reason this probably won't see a whole lot of play is because it's creature specific. But if you have a creature deck where you have a good amount of creatures in it, this is definitely seeing play. I mean, it's a surprise strike, but bigger.
Yeah, it's a massive pump for only two
Yeah.
resources. Like, if you can put enough creatures in your deck to play this card, definitely play this card. It's so efficient. I think we're just like slightly light on playable creatures right now for it to see so much play. But if we get a handful more in the next couple sets, like it'll definitely make the cut on some decks.
Yeah.
Next is 3 lessons.
So playing 2 down curve, you can give a unit hidden, an experience, and a shield. I don't think that makes up for not playing something on curve for 2 less. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If I play a 5-drop with this, let's say I have 7 resources and I give it shield and experience and hidden, I'd probably just rather play the 7-drop.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's neat, the concept. I mean, maybe at early drops, it might be better. At later drops, I'd rather have the impact that the full drop at that value is going to have.
Yeah, it's another card that just suffers from like decks always want to curve out. Like this is a very like mid range leaning game where most decks just want to play 2-drop into 3-drop into 4-drop into 5-drop.
Yeah.
And spending slots in my deck to like mitigate missing on a curve, like it's just not useful. Like just put more units at the point in the curve where you were missing on curve. So yeah, it's not going to see any play in Premiere. It's not even great in Twin Suns. Like, yeah, it just doesn't do anything you really want there. In limited, yeah, it'll probably make like the last couple slots of a deck, and you'll play like I was gonna play off curve anyway. I might as well get an experience and a shield. But
if you're playing an ambush unit, I suppose it's better.
Yeah, still just like okay,
+1 and a shield, so it lives, and it can't be attacked because it's hidden. But yeah, other than that, nah.
It's just a limited card, and even there, it's not like great. Then we've got Tip the Scale.
Some more hand disruption. Looking at opponent's hand, discard a non-unit card from it. So like a Bodhi effect on an event. It's a force card and a trick. I mean, hand disruption is a thing, so I could see this seeing play in those decks that are really going for that hand disruption.
Flame Dunk and Cad Bane. Cad Bane was already playing Jabba Unit. Jabba Unit both finds this and reduces this.
Yeah.
Like Jam Communications has seen Fringe play. If you can reduce this with Jabba, it's just Jam Communications that Jabba can find. Which is pretty great. So yeah, this will definitely see at least sideboard playing Cad Bane decks. Outside of that, I don't see many villainy decks that want a Jam Communications effect. Like Cunning Villainy already gets Bayzine. Heroism already gets Jam Communications itself. So I don't think it'll see much play outside of Cad Bane, but it seems pretty gnarly in Cad Bane. Next up is Will of the Force.
A bounce effect that makes them discard if you use the force. So a more expensive waylay that also makes them discard a card. I could see using this. Waylay is already good, and then mixing it with some hand disruption for that extra, for the extra resource and the force, of course. I could see using this.
Yeah, so if you're playing a 4 stack, it's a very large consideration to just swap your melees for this. Sure, it
Hmm.
costs one more, but you get a little bit more upside if you're willing to use the force. Um,
Yeah.
I think it's especially nasty when your opponent has 0 cards in hand and it's basically just vanquish. You bounce the unit and then immediately
Yeah.
make them
For
random
4.
discard it. So yeah, it has potential. I could see it seeing some play.
Hmm.
Oh, that's the last card.
Yeah.
All right, there's Cunning. Out of the way. Should be the fourth to last or second to last, fourth video, whatever. Not this hard. Should be one more. I think we'll do heroism, villainy, and neutral all at once because it's a similar size to these single aspects. Um,
Yep.
Thanks for watching. If you like this kind of content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Helps me out. It helps grow the channel. It makes YouTube like me more. All those great things. I think that's all we got. So let's wrap it up. Got any final thoughts?
No. Look forward to the next one, and see you guys next time.
All right. See you guys.